My beloved child, listen closely. What you are about to hear is not coincidence, not imagination, and not something that reached you by accident. There is a reason you stopped here. There is a reason your eyes did not move away. And there is a reason your heart feels slightly heavier right now, even if you cannot explain why. Tonight, a warning is unfolding around you quietly. Not loud, not dramatic, but precise, intentional, protective. Archangel Michael is near you at this very moment, not to frighten you, not to overwhelm you, but to shield you from something that has been moving toward your life unnoticed. A presence, a connection, a man whose influence has already brushed against your path. You may think you know everyone around you. You may believe you understand their intentions. But this message is coming because there is one person whose name carries a hidden weight, and that name will shock you when it is finally revealed. This is not about fear. This is about clarity. For weeks, maybe months, you have felt small disruptions in your peace. Moments when your energy dropped for no clear reason. Sudden doubts that did not belong to you. Emotional heaviness after certain conversations. A strange resistance when you tried to move forward in your life. You blamed stress. You blamed timing. You blamed yourself. But Archangel Michael says this clearly. Not everything you felt came from within you. There is a man whose presence in your life is not accidental. His words sound normal. His behavior appears acceptable. His intentions seem harmless on the surface. Yet behind his name is an influence that drains, delays, and quietly redirects your destiny away from what you are meant to receive. This is why you have been protected from certain opportunities without understanding why. This is why some plans collapsed at the last moment. This is why your intuition whispered warnings you tried to ignore. Archangel Michael does not intervene without reason. And he does not send messages without urgency. Right now, he is placing a pause between you and this man. A pause meant to save you from a longer regret. A pause meant to wake you before attachment becomes damage. A pause meant to give you power before confusion takes it away. You may already know him. He may smile easily. He may speak kindly. He may even appear supportive. But the truth is this, his presence is not aligned with where your life is heading. Archangel Michael sees what human eyes miss. He sees the subtle influence behind repeated interactions. He sees how certain people slow your growth without ever raising their voice. He sees how destiny can be interrupted not by enemies, but by familiar faces. And this man's name, when it surfaces in your awareness, will make everything click. You will suddenly remember moments that felt off. You will recall conversations that left you unsettled. You will recognize patterns you once dismissed. This is not about confrontation. This is about distance. This is about protection. Archangel Michael is not asking you to act yet. He is asking you to listen, to observe, to become aware. Because awareness is the first shield. Your heart is sensitive because it is powerful. Your spirit is targeted because it carries potential. And when your destiny grows brighter, interference often comes disguised as familiarity. Stay with this message. Do not rush it. Do not dismiss what your intuition is already responding to. In the next part, the signs will become clearer, and the reason this man's name holds such importance will begin to unfold in a way you did not expect. This message reached you on time, and that alone means you are being protected. Stay here. This moment matters more than you realize. What Archangel Michael is revealing now goes deeper than a simple warning. This is not about one action or one conversation. This is about a pattern that has been quietly repeating itself in your life, almost like a loop you could not escape. There is a man whose name carries a vibration that does not match your future. Every time his energy crosses yours, something delays. Something pauses. Something shifts away from you at the last second. You may not see it immediately, but you have felt the aftermath. Think carefully. Have you noticed how confidence fades after certain interactions? How clarity becomes foggy after certain discussions? How motivation drops without explanation? This is not coincidence. Archangel Michael is showing that this man does not intend harm openly. His influence works silently. He questions without attacking. He advises without supporting. He stays close without truly standing with you. And that is why his name will shock you. Because you trusted him. You trusted his words. You trusted his presence. You trusted his consistency. Yet consistency does not always mean alignment. Archangel Michael reveals that your path carries something rare ahead, a shift that would change your emotional stability, your self-worth, and your direction. And when such shifts approach, there are always forces that try to anchor you to the old version of yourself. This man is one of those anchors. He benefits from the version of you that doubts. He feels comfortable around the version of you that hesitates. He recognizes the version of you that waits instead of moves. That is why he appears calm when you struggle. That is why he does not celebrate your growth fully. That is why his advice subtly keeps you where you are. Archangel Michael is not exposing him to create chaos. He is revealing him so you can reclaim authority over your own life. Notice something important. You were not meant to fight. You were meant to awaken. The moment you become aware, the influence weakens. The moment you stop sharing everything, the control fades. The moment you trust your inner knowing, the confusion dissolves. Right now, this message is acting like a mirror. Many listening will suddenly recognize a name. Some will feel a pause in their heart. Some will feel resistance, and that resistance itself is confirmation. If this message is resonating deeply, allow it to stay with you. Let it settle. Let it speak back to you. Moments like this are not meant to be rushed past or forgotten. You are not alone in this realization. Many are hearing this message at the same time, each with their own version of this man, each with their own story, yet the pattern remains the same. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian, not above you, but beside you. He reminds you that you are allowed to choose distance without explanation. You are allowed to protect your peace without guilt. You are allowed to grow without carrying others along. As you reflect on this, take a quiet moment to acknowledge what you are feeling. Awareness grows stronger when it is expressed, even silently. When people recognize themselves in messages like this, it creates a shared understanding, a reminder that no one walks this journey alone. In the next part, the final layers will begin to unfold, and the reason this man's name carries such power will become even clearer. What you will hear next may change how you view certain connections forever. Stay present. Your clarity is returning. Stay still for a moment and listen carefully, because this is where the truth sharpens. This is where the message stops being vague and starts becoming personal. What Archangel Michael is revealing now is not something you heard before, and once you hear it, you will not be able to forget it. The man you are being protected from is not loud. He is not openly negative. He does not announce his intentions. That is why he is dangerous to your progress without ever appearing harmful. Archangel Michael says this man does not block you directly. He diverts you gently. He distracts you subtly. He delays you quietly. And the most shocking part is this: he does it while believing he is right. This man feels entitled to your time, your attention, your energy, or your trust. He may not say it openly, but his actions reveal it. Every time you move closer to a breakthrough, his presence increases. Every time you gain clarity, he creates confusion. Every time you begin to rise emotionally or spiritually, something pulls you back into old conversations, old doubts, or old patterns connected to him. This is not coincidence. This is influence. Archangel Michael reveals that this man's name carries authority in your mind. That is why it has power over you. You respect him. You listen to him. You consider his opinion even when it goes against your inner voice. And this is where the warning becomes clear. Your intuition has already tried to warn you. Your spirit has already resisted him quietly. Your peace has already reacted before your logic did. Think carefully. There is a moment you remember where you felt inspired, confident, and aligned, and after interacting with this man, that feeling faded. Not instantly, but slowly, like light dimming instead of switching off. Archangel Michael says this man does not hate you. That is not the issue. The issue is that his path and your destiny are not meant to cross deeply. When they do, imbalance occurs. His unresolved struggles begin to influence your decisions. His limitations begin to reflect onto your future. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation you need to hear. Not everyone who walks with you is meant to go where you are going. This man's name is linked to a cycle you were supposed to outgrow. That is why keeping him close feels familiar but heavy, comfortable but limiting, known but exhausting. Archangel Michael is stepping in now because if this connection continues unchanged, you will begin to question yourself instead of questioning the influence around you. You will doubt your instincts. You will second-guess your progress. You will slow down without realizing why. This is not punishment. This is protection. Right now, your awareness is your power. You are being given time to notice patterns, time to recognize emotional shifts, time to observe how your energy changes after contact with him. You are not being asked to confront. You are not being asked to accuse. You are being asked to see. Because once you truly see, detachment happens naturally. And when detachment happens, growth accelerates. Archangel Michael says something important now. When this man's name finally stands out clearly in your mind, you will feel relief, not fear. Relief because confusion will end. Relief because your intuition will finally feel validated. Relief because you will understand why certain doors stayed closed. They were protecting you until you were ready. Do not rush away from this message. Do not minimize it. Let it settle. In the next part, the name itself begins to surface, not as a shock meant to disturb you, but as a truth meant to free you. Stay with this moment, because what you are about to realize now is the turning point, the place where confusion ends and clarity begins. Archangel Michael says something startling here. The man he warned you about is not entering your life. He has already been there. This is why the warning feels late and urgent at the same time. This is why your heart reacted before your mind understood. This is why this message feels personal, even if you cannot explain it. This man did not come loudly. He did not come with conflict. He did not come to oppose you openly. He came through access. Access to your time. Access to your emotions. Access to your trust. And slowly, without force, he positioned himself close enough to influence your direction. Archangel Michael reveals that the danger was never in his actions, but in his timing. He appeared during a moment when you were vulnerable, searching, or rebuilding. He entered your life when you were becoming something greater, and his presence quietly began to slow that becoming. This is why certain things kept getting delayed. This is why progress felt heavier than it should have been. This is why motivation sometimes disappeared for no clear reason. You were not weak. You were not distracted. You were being interfered with. Now listen carefully, because this is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation. Archangel Michael says the power this man holds over your life exists only because you have not yet named it. The moment you recognize who he truly is, the influence collapses. Awareness removes authority. That is why this message did not arrive earlier. That is why it arrived now. Your destiny has reached a point where delay is no longer allowed. You may notice something after this video. Conversations with him will feel different. Your patience around him will change. Your intuition will become louder. That is not distance. That is alignment returning. Archangel Michael is not asking you to accuse. He is not asking you to confront. He is not asking you to explain yourself. He is asking you to choose yourself quietly. When you stop sharing certain details, power returns. When you reduce emotional access, peace returns. When you trust your inner signal, your path clears. This is why this message matters. This is why it needed to be heard fully. This is why skipping would have cost you something unseen. From this moment forward, your protection increases. Your clarity sharpens. Your energy stabilizes. And the man whose name will soon surface in your awareness will no longer confuse you. He will simply make sense. Archangel Michael says this clearly and calmly. You were saved before damage could form. Hold that truth. Carry it with awareness. And remember this moment, because it marks the point where your life quietly shifted back into its rightful direction. Do not rush away from this moment. Something critical is unfolding right now, and if you miss this part, the entire message will feel incomplete later. Archangel Michael is not only warning you anymore. He is explaining why this man was allowed to come close to you in the first place. Yes, allowed. Because not every harmful influence arrives by mistake. Some arrive as tests. Some arrive as mirrors. And some arrive so you can finally see how powerful your discernment has become. This man did not enter your life to stay. He entered to reveal something hidden within you. Think carefully. Ever since he became more involved, you began questioning yourself more than usual. Decisions that once felt simple became heavy. Confidence that once felt natural required effort. You started delaying things that mattered to you, without understanding why. That was not coincidence. Archangel Michael says this clearly now. The purpose of this man was distraction, not destruction. Delay, not defeat. Confusion, not collapse. And this is why the timing of this message matters so much. Because the moment you become aware, his influence weakens instantly. You may notice something unusual after this part. Messages from him may slow down. Conversations may feel empty. The emotional pull may suddenly feel lighter. That is not distance forming naturally. That is protection activating intentionally. Here is the shocking truth most people never realize. When someone has no future role in your destiny, their energy cannot stay aligned with yours for long. Once awareness enters, imbalance becomes obvious. Archangel Michael has already stepped between you and the outcome that would have cost you precious time. And now comes something that may surprise you. This man's name is connected to a past cycle you were meant to close, not repeat. A cycle involving trust given too quickly. A cycle involving emotional labor without return. A cycle involving patience offered to the wrong place. You are not losing anything by stepping back. You are reclaiming momentum. That uneasy feeling you felt around him was not fear. It was your intuition recognizing misalignment. Archangel Michael says your intuition has matured. That is why the warning feels calm, not chaotic. Clear, not confusing. Gentle, not alarming. You are not being told to react. You are being told to rise. And the most powerful part? The moment you release the influence of this man, something else moves closer to you. Something aligned. Something steady. Something that does not require you to shrink or wait or doubt yourself. This is why the title carried urgency. This is why the name will shock you. Because it belongs to someone you once thought mattered more than they actually did. Stay present. Stay aware. The final pieces of this message will connect everything you have felt but could never explain. What is being removed is making space. Pause for a moment and feel this carefully. Something has already changed since this message began. Archangel Michael says the reason this warning feels different is because the connection you are being saved from is closer than you ever imagined. Not distant, not random, close enough to influence your thoughts, your timing, and your decisions without ever touching your life directly. This is why the danger never felt loud. This is why nothing seemed obviously wrong. This is why you questioned your own intuition. The man Archangel Michael is separating you from does not appear harmful on the surface. He does not arrive with conflict. He arrives with familiarity, with normal conversations, with opinions that slowly shape yours, with advice that sounds helpful but quietly redirects you away from your highest path. Archangel Michael reveals something shocking here. This man is not meant to walk with you into your future season. His role was temporary, but he overstayed, and the longer he remained, the more your progress slowed in ways you could not explain. You may have noticed this pattern. Every time you felt motivated, something distracted you. Every time clarity arrived, doubt followed. Every time momentum built, hesitation appeared. This was not coincidence. This man's energy creates delay without confrontation, confusion without argument, distance without explanation. That is why Archangel Michael stepped in now, before the delay became permanent. Here is the revelation that may stop you completely. This man already knows you are changing. He senses that your life is shifting, even if he cannot name it. And unconsciously, he resists it, not through actions, but through influence, through presence, through words that sound harmless yet weaken your confidence. Archangel Michael says this clearly: not everyone who walks beside you is meant to witness your rise. This is why you are being warned now and not later, because soon, your life will require decisions that demand clarity. And this man's influence would blur them. Do not confront. Do not explain. Do not justify. Distance is forming naturally for a reason. You may already feel it. Conversations becoming shorter, interest fading, silence appearing where noise once existed. This is not loss. This is protection. Archangel Michael is cutting cords quietly so your spirit remains calm while your destiny moves forward unhindered. And now, something important. The name associated with this man is already floating near your awareness. You may not want to admit it yet. You may hesitate to accept it. But your body already knows the truth before your mind catches up. When recognition happens, it will not feel dramatic. It will feel relieving, because deep down, you have been carrying an unspoken weight, and this message is lifting it. Stay present. Do not scroll. Do not rush. What is coming next will explain why this separation is necessary for the blessing that follows, and why Archangel Michael insisted you hear this before moving forward. You are not losing anything. You are being cleared for something greater. Stay right here, because this is the moment where everything finally becomes clear. Up to now, Archangel Michael has been guiding you gently, quietly moving pieces out of your way, slowing certain connections, protecting you without announcing it. But now, the message sharpens, not to scare you, but to awaken you. There is a reason this part reached you. There is a reason your attention feels locked in right now. This is the turning point. Archangel Michael says the man you were warned about is not a stranger who suddenly appeared. He is someone whose name you already know. A name you have spoken casually. A name you never questioned. A name you trusted more than you should have. And that is why this revelation shocks people. This man did not enter your life to destroy you openly. He entered quietly, blending into your routine, your conversations, your comfort zone. He mirrored familiarity. He reflected understanding. He stayed close enough to observe your growth. But what he truly carried was influence, subtle influence that slowly bent your decisions, softened your confidence, and delayed what was meant to arrive sooner in your life. Archangel Michael reveals this clearly now. Your delays were not punishment. Your confusion was not weakness. Your exhaustion was not random. It was interference. Not loud, not aggressive, but constant enough to matter. You may remember moments when you felt inspired before meeting him, and strangely drained afterward. Moments when your clarity faded after his advice. Moments when your instincts whispered caution, but your logic defended him. That inner conflict was not accidental. This is why Archangel Michael stepped in. He began removing this man's influence without cutting him off immediately, because sudden removal would have caused emotional resistance. Instead, you were guided to notice patterns, to feel distance forming naturally, to sense something shifting. And now, the name. Archangel Michael says the shock is not in how famous the name is, but in how close it is. It could be someone whose name starts with a letter you never suspected, someone whose voice you recognized instantly, someone who appeared supportive while quietly standing in the way of your rise. When this realization lands, you will not feel anger. You will feel relief, because suddenly, things will make sense. You will understand why certain opportunities slipped away at the last second, why important messages were delayed, why progress slowed even when you were doing everything right. Archangel Michael never allows truth to surface until you are strong enough to receive it, and right now, you are. This is also why your energy has been shifting recently. You may have noticed moments of emotional clarity returning, a sudden desire to protect your space, a new awareness of who deserves access to you, and who does not. That is not coincidence. That is protection activating. The most powerful revelation in this part is this: once this man's influence fully loosens, your life accelerates. Not slowly, not gradually, but noticeably. Things that felt stuck begin to move. Decisions become lighter. Your confidence returns without effort. This is why Archangel Michael wanted you to hear this message before moving forward. Because the future opening for you cannot coexist with hidden interference. You were never meant to struggle this much. You were never meant to doubt yourself this deeply. You were never meant to carry emotional weight that did not belong to you. And now, the protection is complete. Do not rush to confront. Do not rush to explain. Simply observe how naturally distance forms. That is how you know the message worked. Stay with this awareness. Because what comes next is not just freedom, it is restoration. And once you see the name clearly in your mind, you will understand why Archangel Michael stepped in exactly when he did. Stay with me now, because what unfolds here is the turning point. This is where confusion ends and clarity begins. Archangel Michael is not silent anymore. The protection that was subtle before is now firm, intentional, and unmistakable. What you sensed earlier as discomfort now reveals itself as guidance. What once felt like coincidence now forms a clear pattern. There is a reason your attention keeps returning to one specific name. You may have tried to dismiss it. You may have told yourself you were overthinking. Yet every time you did, the feeling returned stronger than before. That is not imagination. That is discernment awakening. Archangel Michael shows that this man entered your life during a vulnerable window. A moment when you were open, hopeful, or searching for stability. He did not arrive loudly. He blended in. He mirrored your energy. He spoke in ways that felt familiar. But familiarity does not always mean alignment. This is the shocking truth. His role was never to stay. His role was to test your awareness. And once that test is complete, his influence must loosen, or your progress will remain delayed. You may notice how conversations with him circle without resolution. How plans connected to him never fully materialize. How your motivation shifts after interacting with him. These are not random experiences. They are signals. Archangel Michael reveals that your life is entering a phase where speed matters, momentum matters, timing matters, and anything that slows you down now does not belong in your future chapter. This is why you are being shown the truth before consequences form. The most surprising part is this: the separation does not require drama. It does not require confrontation. It only requires awareness. Once you see clearly, the whole dissolves naturally. Your energy changes. Your choices sharpen. Your intuition strengthens. And suddenly, the name that once felt powerful loses its weight. Archangel Michael stands beside you as a guardian of direction. He does not remove people forcefully. He reveals truth gently, then allows your wisdom to do the rest. Remember this moment. Remember how your heart feels lighter even as you listen. That lightness is confirmation. What was meant to distract you has been exposed. What was meant to slow you has been identified. What was meant to confuse you no longer has access. In the next part, you will understand what replaces this influence, and why something better was always waiting beyond this awareness. Do not move away yet. This message is unfolding exactly when you are ready to receive it. Pause for a moment and feel what is happening inside you right now. Your heart is not racing by accident. Your mind is not this alert without reason. This is the moment Archangel Michael wanted you to reach. Up to now, the message has been preparing you, layer by layer, because what is being revealed here cannot be absorbed by a distracted mind. This part is different. This part is decisive. The man Archangel Michael warned you about is not powerful because of authority, wealth, or status. His power comes from familiarity, from access, from proximity. He is close enough to influence you, yet distant enough to avoid suspicion. This is why his impact has lasted longer than it should have. Archangel Michael shows that this man does not openly oppose you. Instead, he subtly reshapes your thoughts. He plants hesitation where confidence should live. He introduces delay where momentum should flow. He speaks words that sound reasonable, but they slowly dim your certainty. You may have noticed it without realizing. After speaking with him, you second-guess decisions. After being around him, your enthusiasm fades. After his advice, progress slows. This is not coincidence. Here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation you were meant to hear. This man mirrors concern, but his presence blocks alignment. Archangel Michael reveals that every time you were close to stepping into something meaningful, this man appeared, not to stop you directly, but to redirect your focus, to make you wait, to make you doubt timing, to make you question your readiness. And the most shocking truth is this: he believes he is helping you. That is what makes this so dangerous to ignore. His intentions are not loud or obvious. He acts from his own unresolved limitations. He cannot step into his own purpose, so his energy unconsciously resists yours. Archangel Michael does not accuse him. He simply separates influence from destiny. Right now, something is shifting. The protection around you is becoming stronger because you are finally aware. Awareness changes the flow. Awareness weakens influence. Awareness restores direction. You are not meant to confront him. You are not meant to explain yourself. You are not meant to justify distance. You are meant to choose alignment over familiarity. Archangel Michael says this clearly: when you stop sharing your next steps with the wrong ears, your life will accelerate in unexpected ways. When you guard your vision, doors will open faster. When you trust your inner confirmation instead of outside reassurance, clarity will return. This is why this message insists you stay present. Because the shift happens quietly, and those who miss it repeat the cycle. The moment you stop seeking validation from him, something will unlock. A decision will feel lighter. A path will become obvious. A weight you carried without noticing will disappear. And when that happens, you will remember this part. You will remember the moment you realize that protection sometimes looks like distance, and salvation sometimes arrives as awareness. Stay with this message. What comes next explains how to seal this protection permanently. Pause for a moment. Not because something is wrong, but because something hidden is finally lining up to be seen. Archangel Michael is not raising his voice right now. He is doing something far more powerful. He is revealing patterns. And once patterns are revealed, they can never control you again. There is a reason this message has lasted with you until now. Many people would have left earlier. Many would have scrolled. But you stayed, because this is personal. The man you were warned about is not someone dramatic. He is not loud. He does not arrive with obvious disruption. His power comes from subtle influence, from repeated access, from quiet familiarity. That is what made him dangerous to your destiny, not his behavior, but his position. Archangel Michael shows that this man's name has already crossed your thoughts more than once. You may have brushed it away. You may have told yourself you were overthinking. But intuition does not repeat itself without reason. Here is the shocking truth being revealed now. This man was never meant to walk beside you for the long journey. He was only meant to appear briefly. And when brief connections overstay their time, they begin to block what is meant to arrive next. That is why certain doors felt delayed. That is why clarity disappeared after progress. That is why your motivation fluctuated without cause. This was not coincidence. This was interference without intention. Archangel Michael says something important here, and listen carefully. Not every person who distracts your destiny intends harm. Some do it simply by existing in a space that no longer belongs to them. And that is exactly what is happening now. You are stepping into a higher phase of your life. A phase where your decisions carry weight. Where your presence attracts attention. Where your future becomes visible to forces you do not yet see. This man's influence cannot follow you there. That is why awareness arrived first. That is why distance is forming naturally. That is why conversations feel shorter, energy feels lighter, and silence feels safer. Archangel Michael is already removing the attachment, gently, quietly. Without chaos. You are being spared confusion. You are being spared regret. You are being spared a lesson that others had to learn the hard way. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation meant to stay with you. When divine protection enters your life, it never announces itself loudly. It simply makes the wrong connections feel uncomfortable and the right path feel calm. You are not losing anything. You are being preserved. Remember this part. Because soon, when the name finally becomes clear in your heart, you will realize this message reached you just in time. Stop for a moment. Do not scroll. Do not rush past this. Because what is coming now is the turning point, the moment where everything finally makes sense. Archangel Michael is not repeating this message by accident. He is pressing it into your awareness because time has reached a sensitive edge. Something hidden has reached its final stage, and once you see it clearly, you will never see that man the same way again. Here is the shocking truth. The man Archangel Michael has been shielding you from is not new in your life. He is not a stranger. He is not someone who suddenly appeared. He is someone you trusted enough to ignore your intuition around. This is why the message feels intense. This is why your heart reacts before your mind does. Because deep down, you already sensed something, but you pushed it away, telling yourself you were overthinking. You were not. Archangel Michael reveals that this man feeds on access, not control. He does not overpower. He influences quietly. He places doubts gently. He delays without resistance. And while you continued walking forward, something always felt slightly heavier when he was involved. Think carefully now. Every time your confidence dipped for no reason. Every time your excitement faded after sharing good news. Every time progress slowed right after a conversation with him. Those were not coincidences. This is the once-in-a-lifetime revelation most people never receive until it is too late. Not everyone who stays close is meant to walk beside you into your future. Archangel Michael says this man's name carries a vibration that does not match your path. And when a name does not align, it creates invisible friction, delays, confusion, emotional tiredness, and missed timing. You felt it, didn't you? That strange pause before replying to his messages. That inner resistance when you thought about sharing your next move. That sudden calm when distance appeared between you and him. Those were signs of protection activating. What makes this shocking is not who he is, but how long he has been near you without being noticed. Archangel Michael did not step in earlier because you were still learning. But now, you are stepping into a phase where clarity matters more than tolerance, where alignment matters more than politeness, where peace matters more than explanation. And here is the part that will stay with you long after this video ends. Once the name becomes clear in your heart, you do not need proof, arguments, or confirmation. Your calm will return instantly. Your energy will lift. Your focus will sharpen. That is how you will know. This message is not asking you to confront. It is not asking you to accuse. It is not asking you to fear. It is asking you to choose yourself silently. Archangel Michael is standing behind you, not pushing, not pulling, only guarding the space where your destiny needs room to breathe. Stay with this. Let it settle. Because what comes next will reveal why your future could not fully open until this awareness arrived. This is protection. This is precision. And this moment will not repeat. Pause for a moment. What you are feeling right now is recognition. This part is not arriving randomly. It is arriving because something inside you is finally ready to see clearly. Archangel Michael is not speaking loudly anymore. He is speaking precisely, calmly, with authority. The man connected to this message is not who you thought he was, not in role, not in intention, and not in influence. And the most surprising truth is this: he did not enter your life to stay. He entered to test. For a long time, you believed his presence was neutral, sometimes helpful, sometimes confusing, but never serious enough to question deeply. That is how subtle influence works. It does not announce itself. It blends in. Archangel Michael reveals that this man carries a pattern, not just a personality. Wherever he goes, progress slows. Decisions become delayed. Confidence quietly weakens. And people around him start doubting their own instincts. Think carefully. After interacting with him, did you ever feel slightly drained without knowing why? Did clarity turn into hesitation? Did motivation soften into delay? These were not coincidences. This man's name holds energy, not power over you, but access. And access is what Archangel Michael has now closed. Here is the shocking part. You were protected before you even asked for protection. Plans that did not work were not failures. Conversations that ended suddenly were not losses. Distance that formed unexpectedly was not rejection. It was intervention. Archangel Michael stepped in quietly, redirecting paths without creating chaos, shielding you without creating fear. Because your life is not meant to be shaken, it is meant to rise. And now comes the moment of clarity. You will soon hear this man's name again, in a conversation, a memory, or a thought that surfaces without effort. When it happens, your body will respond before your mind does. Calm instead of attachment. Awareness instead of confusion. That reaction will be your confirmation. You are not meant to confront. You are not meant to explain. You are meant to move forward lighter than before. This message is not about cutting people away. It is about alignment. When alignment returns, unnecessary connections fade naturally. Archangel Michael is not removing anything valuable from your life. He is preserving what is rare: your peace, your direction, your future. Stay present with this message. Let it settle. Let it clarify. Because what is coming next is not loss. It is relief. This is the moment where everything becomes undeniable. If you are still here, it is because something inside you already knows the truth is close. Not guessed. Not imagined. Close. And Archangel Michael is now drawing your attention to a detail you may have overlooked again and again. There is a reason your life did not move forward at the speed it was supposed to. There is a reason certain doors slowed down instead of opening wide. And there is a reason one particular person kept reappearing in your path, even when you tried to distance yourself emotionally. This part is not loud. It is precise. Archangel Michael reveals that the man you were warned about never came to destroy loudly. He came to delay quietly. His power was not in force, but in familiarity. His influence was not obvious, but consistent. Every time you were about to rise, he appeared. Every time you gained clarity, confusion followed. Every time you felt strong, doubt entered softly. This was not coincidence. What makes this revelation shocking is this: he did not even realize the role he was playing. Yet his energy conflicted with your destiny so deeply that remaining connected would have altered the timeline of your life. That is why conversations with him felt draining without argument. That is why after interacting with him, your motivation dipped for no logical reason. That is why your intuition felt heavy, but your mind kept making excuses. Archangel Michael says this clearly now: not every lesson comes through pain. Some lessons come through separation before pain begins. And here is the part that most people miss. This man's name carries a vibration that directly opposes a blessing that is already prepared for you. This is why the name itself will shock you when you finally acknowledge it. You were never meant to fight him. You were meant to outgrow his influence. Right now, a shift is already happening. You may notice less contact. You may feel a natural emotional distance forming. You may sense relief without fully understanding why. That is protection working silently. Archangel Michael does not remove people suddenly when they are meant to teach you awareness. He allows clarity to rise so that your choice becomes powerful, not forced. This part of the message exists so you remember one thing forever: peace is your confirmation. If choosing distance brings peace, it was always guidance. If clarity brings calm, it was always truth. Stay present. Stay attentive. Because in the next unfolding moment, you will understand why this warning arrived exactly when it did, and why your future needed this pause more than you realized. You are not late. You are protected. This is the moment most people never reach, because only those who listened carefully from the beginning are meant to hear what comes now. What Archangel Michael reveals at this stage is not a warning anymore. It is confirmation. You were never imagining it. The discomfort you felt around one specific man was real. The hesitation in your spirit was not confusion. It was recognition. Something inside you already knew before your mind could explain it. This man did not enter your life by chance. He crossed your path at a precise moment, when your destiny was shifting. And that is why his presence felt strangely important, even when nothing obvious was happening. Archangel Michael shows that this man carries a familiar name. A name you have spoken casually. A name you have trusted before. A name that did not sound threatening, yet quietly altered your emotional balance. Every time he appeared, your energy changed. Every time he spoke, something inside you grew quieter. Every time you thought about your future, his influence stood nearby like a shadow you could not place. This is the truth most people miss. Not all obstacles come to harm you openly. Some come to slow you gently, so you never notice what you lost until much later. Archangel Michael stepped in because the delay had reached its limit. You were meant to rise into a clearer season, a season of alignment, stability, and inner strength. But as long as this man remained emotionally close, your steps felt heavier, your confidence felt questioned, and your decisions felt uncertain. He did not need to say anything wrong. He did not need to act against you. His role was subtle, and that made it dangerous to your progress. This is why things started to shift suddenly. This is why conversations changed tone. This is why distance began forming without effort. It was not rejection. It was protection. Archangel Michael confirms something shocking here. The separation you are experiencing now was arranged for your benefit. What felt like confusion was actually divine order rearranging your path. And here is the revelation that will stay with you long after this video ends. The moment you fully detach emotionally from this man, something you have been waiting for will move faster than expected. A door that stayed closed will open naturally. A sense of peace you forgot will return quietly. Your clarity will sharpen overnight. That is not coincidence. That is release. You were never meant to carry his influence into your next chapter. And now, you do not have to. Let this message settle inside you. Let awareness replace doubt. Let peace replace questioning. Archangel Michael is not removing anything from your life without replacing it with something stronger. And as this part ends, understand this clearly. You were saved before damage could occur. You were redirected before regret could form. And you are now standing exactly where you need to be.